Welcome back to Dum-Dums and Dragons, where improvisers who've never roleplayed before journey into the world of Dungeons and Dragons. I am the Grand Wizard Bukake, your host. Alan has reunited with the Dum-Dums, leaving 2099 behind forever, but the world of Faerun has changed. Butthole died, naming Quinny the king of Akar, and the new House Sparch have to build a future without their cleric and crown prince. What path will they choose without Moonhammer to guide them? Find out next on Dum-Dums and Dragons.
We open in Phandalin. It's a beautiful day. The sky is blue. There are a few clouds, and the town is bustling. Since the kind of attack and the reconstruction, things have really been going quite well for Phandalin, and the Moonhammer gift shop has been more popular than ever. As word has spread of the deeds of the Dum-Dums, people have just kind of flocked to Phandalin to kind of see where the heroes were, particularly all of those who now revel in the protection of the Greywater Syndicate and kind of basically view the Dum-Dums and their allies as the reason that they haven't been drawn into the war between the Plantiers, the Unseen Hand, and the rest of the world. So on one such clear day, people are going about their business. Uncle Jim's just opened up the shop. He's getting his rum ready. His toe key is kind of like giving him some trouble today, but you know, that's par for the course. He waves to Garvo the Undying, who's making his way into the sort of converted distillery that's also the Church of Moonhammer, along with the mansion that is also the church. But there's a lot of Moonhammer related buildings now. It's almost become something of a theme park. Garvo looks a little concerned, and he seems to be deep in thought. Unbeknownst to Uncle Jim, he's been having some difficulty with some of his followers and some of his acolytes. Unlike Butthole, who kind of gets to jump from place to place to place and kind of do all these wonderful things, dear sweet Garvo is stuck with the kind of boring mundanity of having to actually run a church and having to spread the word of a deity that he feels he barely understands, but whose power he feels flowing through him. So he's on his way to unlock the church. He's still trying to figure out what exactly to do with this acolyte. And the best thing he's thought so far is to send him off into the woods on a mission. And he's hoping he'll return with something that, and perhaps with new perspective. And he goes to turn the key in the big lock on the doors when all of a sudden there's kind of a behind him and the ground shakes. And he turns, and there's a man standing there, a man with sort of silvery blue skin, greenish hair, kind of wearing a red shoulder pads and kind of like a little red belt, and a big sunny grin on his face. And Garvo turns around and says, hello, sorry, can I help you? And the man says, hi. Yes, I sincerely hope so. My name is the Captain, and you see, this is funny, you're going to laugh. I have a wife. And Garvo says, that's fine. And he says, and you see, I heard she might be here because, there's a temple in her name, which is very strange because that is certainly something I didn't agree to. And, as her husband, you think that's probably something that I should have some say in, right? And Garvo kind of looks around confused, being like, well, there aren't many temples around here. I mean, there's kind of mine and the temple to Moonhammer, of course. He said, yeah, you see, that's the one. That's the one. And so I was just kind of wondering, is she home? And Garvo just kind of gives him a look and says, well, no, of course not. And the captain looks disappointed and says, no, that's a shame. Do you know where I can find her? And Garvo's starting to get a little uncomfortable with all of this. He's seen some shit, and he knows that, this usually means bad news. And he says, look, as I understand the will of the goddess, if she has anything she wants to say to you, she'll find you. And the captain just kind of sighs and rolls his eyes, and he's like, you see, that's the problem, though. She hasn't been in contact, which is very unlike her, and I must say, a little bit irksome. So, listen, I was wondering if maybe you could give a message to her for me. And Garvo just kind of shakes his head, and he's like, fucko, I don't really think that's something I'm going to do. And the captain sighs, and it's like, such language. Well, okay, in that case, maybe I'll just leave a message here for her. And if you see her, you can give it to her. And Garvo opens his mouth to refute, and suddenly the captain's eyes go black. And with a grin, he just floats upward into the sky and in a flash, Phandalin is gone.
Tom,
So
what are you doing?
we're back on the Lost Island, and Butthole Farch is dead.
You gotta say it like that.
Butthole Farch is dead!
Hey.
I can do Seinfeld. Butthole Farch is dead.
Oh, so
Would it be better if Obama said it? Like, who do you need? Who do you need this news from?
It's fine.
Butthole is, Butthole Farch is dead.
I hear it. I can hear
There
it.
you go. Yeah. So anyway, Butthole Farch is dead.
I'm a rich prick, and Butthole Farch is dead.
Welcome to Imitation Corner with Tom and Ryan. You've returned to the island after defeating the Techno Kraken and destroying the stack. Emily Antebellum is dead. The phylactery of Dumb Faerun's Grace and Typhus has been destroyed. However, 2099's Grace and Typhus still remains at large. Last you saw, the stack was exploding behind Honor System and Declan as they escaped, so presumably his body has been destroyed, but without any information as to where his phylactery might actually be, you don't know what's happened to him. Alan, for you, in addition to the death of your dear friend, the appearance of your mother in the stack is still a cause for concern. With the stack being destroyed, you are uncertain what happened to her, but based on the amount of magical energy you saw that she had, the odds of her surviving are high. Quinny, or should I say King Quinny Brownbarrow of Aka, head of House Farch,
Yeah.
Lord Master of the Unseen Hand.
Yep. Keep going.
It's also worth knowing that if you're the head of House Farch, it means legally your name would be Quinny Farch.
I don't know who's saying that, but
It's the legal system and your knowledge of it whispering into your mind.
It's a good thing I'm a criminal.
So, Alan and Quinny, I'm going to say that once you got back and dealt with the will, basically everyone just passed out. Like that was it. Everyone was as tapped out as they could be. So
Yeah.
you've both just woken up on the first day of this new world. And you awake to, obviously, a number of feelings. I want to check in with both of you before we get on with the rest of the day. But first and foremost, I guess let's just do that right now. Quinny, you've just awoken as the the king of Aka and the head of House Farch. What's your morning look like, just as kind of you awake to your sort of cabin, essentially?
I think it's one of those things after like a traumatizing or powerful moment, you know, the morning following that. Mm-hmm. He wakes up and he has like a weird initial thought. Doesn't know why it came to him, but just thought, oh man, that necromancer's skull was strapped to Butthole's hip when he went into that kraken. Well.
I also thought about that when I saw it on his torn up sheet last night. You won't believe that guy's backstory.
Well, I'll never know.
Right?
And then, of course, thinking about Butthole, it all comes like washing back. Just like, I cannot believe he's gone. Mm-hmm. I can't believe it. And that he was so prepared to have a letter addressed to me is somewhat shocking. Not that he had a plan, because he always has a plan. But that he would put me in charge of all this stuff. Mm-hmm. And that's like, I feel like Quinny might try not to think about that, because it's such a big idea out of nowhere. It's like the first punch to the gut is that Butthole's gone. The second one is like, oh my God, the world is a different place for more than just one reason. Mm-hmm, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Something else I was thinking about, just kind of as I was pondering this stuff today, is also this is the first time, basically, without Butthole, you actually no longer have any direct line to Hell or Moonhammer, which is kind of an odd new state of being, because for a long time it's just like, oh, we can just call down and talk to whoever we need to, and we can send messages down and everything else. And we know her and she's down there, but now...
I mean, well, we might still have that warlock in the crew whose name I've forgotten.
You mean Mosifus Dirt, a.k.a. Mo Dirt?
Mo Dirt, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Be good times warlock.
Yeah.
who's so angry at the party for botching something and almost getting killed by gargoyles.
Yeah. He's. I mean, he wasn't in a great headspace last time you saw him, but
We'll have to smooth that
I
over.
was gonna say, with your dead friend, you might have some leverage.
That's right, yeah.
Juniper, you, I think, have spent the night in the room that Butthole found that was kind of the workshop, because it is the most attuned to kind of the Eberonian architecture that you saw. It doesn't speak to you any more than it already did, but there's something weird. It's like finding out you came from a different country, then going to that country, just like sitting there and being like, huh, am I connected to this place? Is this part of me at all? As you start to look around the room and kind of explore it a little bit, you do actually find what appear to be some sort of initial plans for both iterations of the stack, as well as sort of, you get the sense that this may have been a test. This small enclave may have been almost a dry run for building the Faerun stack.
Okay.
Although, knowing what all of you collectively know now, you're pretty sure that this technological town with the free systems is from 2099, and the kind of stone architecture and merfolk are from Faerun.
Okay.
So you explore that a bit. You also notice, you seem to find a few diagrams that seem to suggest something called a Warforged that looks like a more humanoid version of Honor System. Weirdly almost shares your features as Moss, like it's sort of a blank metallic face. But it almost looks like a Vitruvian Man design, where it seems almost like someone was trying to reverse engineer a Warforged through dissection.
Oh, my goodness.
Also, you've had a bunch of crises. Butthole has died. Where's Juniper at? I imagine this is like you idly. This is kind of over the course of the night, probably when you get there. So you've also now had some time to sleep.
Yeah. I mean, Juniper is. She's very much about very much in favor about sacrifice for the greater good. Mm-hmm. So she admires Butthole's decision because she didn't have a way out and she did kind of what she could.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Can I ask, has Juniper ever, I know she respects the idea of that a lot. And I've always been fascinated kind of by cultures that respect the idea of sacrifice. Mm-hmm. But then also there's an interesting dichotomy between respecting the idea and necessity of it and then actually having to experience it.
Yeah. No, she is tremendously sad.
Sure. No, I get that.
Sure.
But I think it's interesting to consider, just as we kind of continue to role play this, that idea of it being like personal sadness, but tinged with professional understanding, almost like firefighters or anyone else who deals in high impact things, as opposed to just straight up, this is a tragedy, what the fuck, that Quinny's feeling, or I just got him back and now he's gone, that Alan might be feeling. I think that's an interesting way of putting it. It's kind of like a warrior code death. So it's okay, but it's also, it's like the Vikings. So hooray, you died so heroically. That's great. I miss Steve.
Yeah. That's exactly.
Very
That's
cool.
exactly what it is.
Cool. And in terms of Alan
is angry. She's angry at herself. Yeah, it's tricky because she felt like I, as Alan, felt the pull to stay back in 2099. Because I think that there was still something for me to do that I could have done there, maybe especially to help the mages. I don't know whether it was a rehabilitation or what was it, and being uncertain about the future role of magic there. But I came back through because my friends were in danger and I had to help them, but then I couldn't help them. And now Grayson Typhus is still alive and in 2099. And so I'm it feels like my choice was such a waste. So I'm mighty pissed.
Do you think Butthole would have survived if you'd stayed in 2099?
No.
So you think this was inevitable?
Yeah.
All right. Cool. Wicked. So, as you eventually all kind of make your way into the center of town, you're greeted by Dexter and Trax, both of whom are kind of giving you guys space because they're aware that, of how bad things are. I think Trax is very much approaching this in which honestly is the way I tend to approach like tragedies that I'm adjacent to, which is I can't necessarily help, but I can be a pleasant distraction and I can kind of help make your day better. So if you don't want to talk about it, I'm your guy because I feel like there are people you desperately do want to talk about it with, and that's cool, and I respect that. So he's basically being kind of a respectful, distant, pleasant person. So like, you, Quinny, as you're just kind of like absentmindedly reaching for a glass of water that isn't there, he just like shows up and is like, oh, hey, Quinny, sorry, I think you're looking for this. And just kind of is trying to basically smooth out both your days. Dexter, on the other hand, is he disappears early in the morning, and if you kind of look up over a ridge, you can see him by the shore. There's sort of 4 piles of stones, like little stone cairns, and he seems to be talking to them. And you see he's got like a bottle of liquor, and if kind of you hear his words on the wind, you kind of hear him telling his compatriots about the fact that the Kraken died, that it finally went down, and he's just sort of absently thumbing through his necklace as he does so. Goblin Jr. is actually doing pretty well after his initial moment. He clearly had Butthole spoken to him about this a lot, so he's being kind of as support animal as he can be to all 3 of you. Where just occasionally you'll just feel like something nudge your hand, and like he's just being generally a very good boy. And weirdly, in the way that often you see kind of shades of someone even when they're gone, you see kind of, for the first time when Butthole isn't around, you see just how much of him seems to have imprinted on this wolf. Like, he's jaunty, he's kind of a little bit silly, and like he's doing the same, he's giving you a bit of the same sort of ritual that Butthole would. So it's horrible because obviously your friend is gone, but it's almost like he left a kid in his wake. Like there's somebody who's like, oh, but you're kind of, there's, your personality kind of lives on through this. Ryan, for the next few scenes, I'm going to let you control Goblin Jr. because I think that's only right.
Cool.
So feel free to interject as Goblin Jr. where you will, just with snarfs and like actions and that sort of thing.
Yeah, I'll probably wait till Quinny's not paying attention and then snipe that amulet that he's forgetting about. Then I can talk.
Yeah, Quinny, do you think you'd be paying any attention to that today? I feel like you've got a lot on your mind.
No, but I would also just use beast speech to talk with you.
But Goblin Jr. can't use beast speech to talk to you. He needs the amulet to be able to talk to you whenever.
Oh. Well, yeah, he can steal it from me, but when I notice he's got it, I'm like, hey, give it back. I'll be like, no. I'm like, dance away. Yeah. And then sit at an appropriate distance away that you can't stop.
Classic dog. Cool. So the merfolk are so overjoyed, and they give each of you a piece of the coral. They put some on Goblin Jr.'s like collar, essentially. Based on your experiences underwater, they're pretty sure you're never going to go underwater again. But if you do, they sort of pledge themselves as eternal allies. And you actually get to see them off as they make their way kind of back down underwater to go kind of salvage what they can from the stack. Now that the Kraken and its brood have been destroyed, they can kind of start to rebuild. And also, they know that Butthole did like the religious rites for the mages that were trapped in the stack, but they also kind of promised to give appropriate pomp and circumstance to the people who deserve it, and to the people who don't, they're just going to leave them under a rock somewhere. But they basically committed to the cleanup down there and to making sure that everything's fine and helping the rest of the mages who are down there in the battery, who are all kind of sleepy, get back out. So you feel like you've done some good, and that although it cost you very dearly, you did actually really make a change for this place. The Free Systems have asked to meet with you.
The Free Systems?
Yes. So the robots, the samurai droids. So they've requested kind of meeting. O3 has said that he's got some things on his mind. So basically, I'm going to give you guys a couple minutes to kind of regroup together, and then we'll carry on from there.
So Goblin Jr. walks up to one of the Free Systems and he just puts his paw on it. He's like, "Is this working?"
Snarf, snarf. Is that hello? If so, then snarf, snarf. If not, then hello.
Interesting. We can talk later. Just wanted to know if that was possible. Bye. And he walks over.
Goodbye, small, furry human. So for the bereaved, you have a few minutes to kind of, I think the three of you kind of meet on the edge of the settlement before heading back in. Do you have anything you want to go over with each other? Anything you want to talk about?
How we all doing today?
Goblin Jr. plays dead.
That's cute or extremely sad?
He farts, but also cries a little bit.
Okay, so extremely sad.
Realistically, Juniper kind of like throws herself down, like beside Goblin Jr. and just like kind of pushes her head up, like kind of against him.
He will lean into this.
Yeah. And Alan says, okay, so what's the next move?
The free-thinking robots want to talk to us about something, so we'll probably go hear them out about stuff. But other than that, I'm not sure. I mean, there's a lot to do, and I guess we can talk about it now, or we can talk about it later. But we got to let everyone whose lives he's touched know, right? Like, we got to do them right by doing something.
Okay, so we send out messages or something?
Yeah. And we got to figure out how to get back on the airship too.
Yeah. So you make your way back into town, and you can actually see them squiggly, kind of closing distance now. Now that there isn't a techno-cracked with a laser cannon underwater, nice and easy to land.
Okay, nice.
So the free systems are sort of tending to they've got in the center of town, there's a sort of a massive, think like radio antenna with dishes on it and that sort of thing. Alan, as you approach, you're immediately reminded of the USB stick that Honor System gave you.
Absolutely.
And the free systems are kind of tending to this thing. You get the sense there's almost a sense of religious awe around this, since this was the thing that gave them sentience in the first place. And as you approach, you see they're just sort of finishing a ritual. They're not really doing anything with it. It's just even though they don't have the ability to keep themselves up, they've kept this thing in perfect working order. And O3 greets you and says, "You have done us a great service, and we do not know how we can possibly hope to repay you. Our hope is that perhaps just a promise of friendship and perhaps a promise of shared learnings will be enough, but we know we can never replace the debt of a departed friend."
Yeah, that's great. We came down to help. We're glad we could. We learned some stuff about the Great Collide, which is also what brought us down here. So, yeah, no debt, just whatever you think's fair. That's fine.
Juniper says, your hospitality has been enough.
Excellent. Well, the only other thing we can offer you is the use of our tower. We were able to bring ourselves into a state of awareness, even though it seems we only brought one other robot with us on the other side. If there's anything you need it for, it is our most holy item, but it is yours.
Your most holy item? Well, what do you use it for?
We used it to send out the pulse that brought us all into awareness.
Oh.
It is a massive radio transmission tower. Think of it in your magical terms as a big, loud, speaky machine.
Big, loud, speaky thing.
You can send signals or code worldwide from it.
And who's going to hear it?
Robots, machines.
Oh, all right. Alan, you've been hanging out with a lot of robots. Can you think of anything we could use this tower for?
Yeah, I've basically got the code to turn off all the laser weapons.
Oh,
Here.
wow. Yeah, okay. That's a really good start. Let's do that.
And Juniper chimes in. She's like, says, so is it gonna, shut off the laser weapons or like everything? Like, what's gonna happen to our robot friends here?
They there's some like assorted robot chuckling, and they're like, "We appreciate your concern, but that sort of code is far beneath us."
Snarf, 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 snarf.
This one gets it. Snarf, snarf to you as well.
Snarf.
And Juniper says, okay, so well, is there a downside to turning all this off right now?
I mean,
Anyone think of it?
it would seem your enemies would be wildly under-equipped. That seems the largest downside to me.
Yeah, I mean, I think Polka had some laser weapons, but I'm sure he's also got Bernice, so it's fine either way.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Alan, you remember just how many of the Stained Guard died.
Oh, yeah.
To like this is an ability to just turn off the future.
Yeah. Yeah. Alan's like this is, I got this out of there. This is happening.
Let's do it.
All right, so Alan, with your robotic hand, you sort of place the USB stick into this sort of central mainframe. O3 punches a few buttons, and there's sort of a massive charge as the tower starts to power up, and all of you stand and stare at it, and nothing visually happens because that's not how transmission works.
Yeah, well, is it doing anything?
The robots all chuckle again, and they're like, "Oh yes, it is." And around the world of Dum Faerun, unseen hand shock troops and the forces of Akka rush into combat and click dead weapons. You can't feel it from here, but the tides of war have just shifted very heavily against them.
I don't think it's doing anything.
Goblin Jr. goes up to O3 and puts a paw on him, and I now realize I have 3 charges. So this will be my first charge that I expend to speak to this robot and just say, "Hey, can you send that out like once a day, just forever, in case new stuff comes through?"
No, this code will only apply to things that have been built in that time.
Damn.
Alan, to test to make sure this works, you pull out first gun.
Yeah.
And you find it's inert. It's just a heavy piece of metal at this point.
Can you?
I give it to O3 and like, can you use this for parts?
I suppose we could use it to make smaller, worse guns. Thank you.
Can you tell them that if more stuff comes through, it's going to be a problem?
Nothing else will come through. What do you mean?
If more portals get sent with guns or whatever, the new guns are going to work. If you could tell the humans,
Hey.
and the others.
Humans, your small furry companion, I believe his name is Wolf, wanted me to let you know that if more things come through, there could still be problems.
How is he talking to you?
Oh, apparently he has some medallion of transmission.
Give me that, and I'll run after Goblin Jr.
And I'm just going to run away because now it's a fun game.
Yeah, I'm just going to chase him.
You're our dog with a sock.
Yeah. This is just fun now. Like I'm holding it in my mouth, like jangling it at him, and then running away more.
No. So yes, the threat of other future tech is plausible. However, given that the stack powered all of the major industry in 2099, the odds of them being able to create anything new are very, very low indeed. So you think, at least for now, things are not back to the way they were, but at least kind of the playing field has been leveled quite considerably. And then the McSquiggly begins to lower a ladder.
All right. Hey, Dex and Trax, do you want to come aboard? Get off this island?
Honestly, yeah, that'd be so nice.
Yeah.
Hey, Dex, you coming too? And Dex is already has all this shit packed up. He's like, all right, that was a question?
Okay, yeah. I mean, there is a 10,000 gold boarding fee. You can pay that to me right now.
They're like, what does a king need with 10,000 gold? And then he slaps you on the back and goes for the ladder.
I hate this.
I was going to say, and Goblin Jr. goes up to Quinny, and Goblin Jr. opens his side pouch and shows Quinny because he's been spending his time while other people were away secretly collecting gold around because he knew Quinny would want it. Tom, how much gold has Goblin Jr. successfully stolen during his theoretical day hiding around?
We'll say 5,000.
Yeah, and he just like gestures, and then he points it to you.
Was this for me?
Snarf.
All right, well, is there a very special coin in there that lets you read people's thoughts as well?
And then I dump all the coins on the ground, reveal the amulet in my mouth, and run on board.
What the fuck? And I'm like torn. It's like, oh, Sophie's choice.
Quinny's
I get on my knees and I grab as much gold as I can.
Great. So you all sort of like hike up onto the ship and sort of waving off the bow as you leave. You bid farewell to the Lost Systems, who seem to kind of be content to continue their existence here on the island. So we're back aboard the McSquiggly, and the crew is somewhat obviously surprised to not see Butthole, to see Alan back after the Stained went crazy and killed everybody. Is a little touchy. And the captain Essentially, I think Quinny takes you to one side after she greets you. She's still on crutches because she's still healing up. Still has swords hanging from them just in case. And she's like, "Hey, look, it's. I think we've had a fun ride overall here. I've had some ups, had some downs. Most of us died. Most of us came back. There's been no word from Bryn.
On her vacation?
Well, no, she was. She said she was after something. There's a loose end she wanted to tie up, and we haven't heard anything from her since, which admittedly is pretty par for the course for Bryn. But
Alan just chimes in. It's like, what loose end? Come on. You have to know.
do you think she would tell us? Look, she's the person who runs the ship. I'm just the one who flies it.
Well, it kind of sounds like Bryn to be like a loose end and just go.
Yeah.
Yeah, irresponsible.
She used a smoke bomb in the hallway. It took us days to vent it.
That is irresponsible.
Snarf, 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 snarf.
It was admittedly very badass, and I appreciated it, but it also annoyed me the next day. It was like drinking tequila. I enjoyed it, but it annoyed me the next day. In any case, look, the crew and I have been talking, and this arrangement is it's going to have to come to an end. We're happy to drop you off at your next destination, but we can't really have what happened with Lady Magic over here happen again. And honestly, since you guys have been on board this ship, most of the crew died at least once. So we'll drop you off at your next location, but we're a bunch of thieves with an airship. We don't need the heat that you're bringing.
This is a major revelation to Quinny. I'll just look to Alan and Juniper and be like, wait, this isn't our airship?
Yeah, we're being kicked off.
And Goblin Jr. is just staring at the captain. And he's like, snarf, snarf, snarf. Snarf.
Yeah, also, we clearly have a no-dog policy, and we've really bent the rules, but, I mean, this is an angry wolf.
Well, yeah, you're taking away his airship.
Goblin Jr. stands up on his hind legs, folds one arm over, and just does that thing where you like flip your other arm up. To
Yeah,
the
that's
fist.
great. That's very cute. Listen, you all seem like good folks, and we'll be happy to help you where we can, but we can't keep putting ourselves in the line of fire like this. And things would be different if Bryn was running the ship, because it's her ship, but gotta tell you, with me running the ship, I don't need this heat.
Okay, all right, okay.
Alan's just broken.
Yeah, that is
I can't
concerning.
I can't go back. My mom's like crazy.
What?
Vile dies, and now we don't have a home.
Oh, man.
Goblin Jr. is just gonna walk over and like look up at Quinny, just like turn his head. Snarf.
And Juniper just kind of puts a hand on Alan's shoulder. Says, "Do you need to talk about this?" Because and Alan just shakes her head and literally walks down the hall laughing.
Yeah, so Alan, you walk down the hall to your lab, and you find it's gone and has been replaced by a hanger.
God, did we hear that laugh?
I was gonna say it's also
Echoing down
Annan's
the hall.
workshop. Yeah, we fucked it all up.
Yeah, listen, so it's stuff like this, the maniacal laughing that really kind of concerns me. Also, your dog seems to be very smart and possibly sentient.
Yes,
it's kind of weird that
he
you
is.
just carry him around like a pet when he's clearly part of the team.
No,
Look,
he's a comfort animal, and I
it's not that comforting.
cup his precious little wolf head. Is like, you need to comfort animals so goddamn hard right now because I am really worried about what's going to happen with Alan.
Are you using beast speech?
Yeah.
You should tell them to drop us off where Bryn got dropped off, and then we get to keep the ship. Because they said if Bryn was here, we get to stay.
Yeah, that's a big gamble, all that. Bryn has stayed in one place this whole time, but also we have places that we need, like a lot of places we need to be, so...
Okay, let's go to Khan. You can be
Yeah,
the king, like it said on the paper.
Yeah, cause one thing, I really want to find out what happened to Merle Streep. God, that seems like such a petty fucking thing now. What am I thinking?
And comes down the hall and sort of says, sorry, I didn't realize you were, I'm so sorry. I didn't realize you were talking to Goblin Jr. I'll give you 2 minutes. And then she just stands by, but she's clearly got a bunch of fucking paperwork in her arms.
Yeah, a cock. It's a great idea. Bryn, maybe we get to keep the airship. Merle Streep, man, I really don't like her. Alan probably has a bunch of stuff too. I haven't talked to her since yesterday.
Okay, well, you're the king, so go king it up.
Okay, please try and comfort Alan. And
Yeah.
Get her
then-
back to her old self.
Goblin Jr. reaches into his pocket and he pulls out an amulet and he gives it to you. And when
look at it.
It's the wrong amulet and he runs away.
It's like Quinny Brown Barrel, world's worst rube. It's like, you fucking dog.
And Juniper just says, like, pretty good comfort animal, though. Am I right?
Yeah.
The captain's like, actually, yes, I'm also charmed by his antics. She's so straight shooting, but also mean. All right. So Annan kind of looks around. She's like, okay. So Alan's back. That's great. I saw her in the hallway cackling, and she seems to have a metal arm.
Yes, I noticed that also.
Okay, great. I'll update the merchandise. Is Butthole around? I have some rather pressing concerns for him.
You can direct those to me as per this extremely depressing letter, and I'll hand her the letter that Butthole
Okay,
left
that's
me.
great. So you found that, and wait, is Butthole dead?
He is, yes. He blew up a cyber kraken, and he was inside it when he did that.
And she looks crestfallen, and she just like keeps her composure mostly. Like she has just a hot second, and then she reads the will, and she's like, okay. So
lay
kind
it
of
on me.
fuck most of this. Here's the deal. He promised me that we would bring Yevgenovich back, and that we would make a body for him in the same way that he once made a body for you.
Okay.
On that note, if he's truly gone, I think we should probably also invest in creating a body for him, which would solve both my problem and apparently all of our problems. Is that correct?
Sure, I guess. I mean,
Is this what you guys do? Like, people die and you just new body, bring them back.
I didn't know it was a tradition. It's about to be because we've only done it one time.
Well, Yevgenovich comes back one way or another, I'm out. That's always been the deal.
That's fine, I guess. I don't know how to do that without promising someone's soul to a devil. So we'll have to branch out.
Okay, well, the one problem it seems to me that I can solve for you is the body issue. Now, as I understand it, there was and she checks her notes, she's like, a Dr. Moreau who got exploded. Is that correct? You killed him.
Yeah.
He was good at stitching bodies. Great. And the only other person who knows how to stitch together these Franken bodies that you are aware of is Butthole himself.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Not the best. Not the best.
What about
Okay.
Leanne?
Great tailor.
Made great
I mean, she
coats.
could probably sew, but she might be grossed out by the flesh. Here's the deal. I've located a specialist in this particular form of, and she kind of like searches for the word and then shrugs like, I don't know, mad science.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
He's a druid that Butthole himself conferred with previous to building what I believe you have dubbed Franken-Quinny.
We don't talk about Frank and Quinny anymore, okay? That monster is gone in a fire.
Okay, great. I'm sure that made you feel much better.
Juniper's like
did.
still in awe about like everything that happened to you guys before she met you. Like it's still amazing after all this time.
Yeah, Juniper's a big fan of seasons 1 through 3. Annan's like, I have information about this man. I've reached out. Unfortunately, there are some complications. We've received some troubling news out of Fandolin.
Okay.
It's gone.
Gone?
Sure, yeah.
Yes.
Wait, what?
Yes, gone. Apparently, some kind of weapon was detonated there. The city is apparently gone.
Wait, what do you mean a weapon? Like it's destroyed?
As in, it is. There's a crater in the center of town, and where town formerly was. Yes, the town itself is gone.
There were like one of the
Okay.
collide weapons, or
I want to pull out the scroll, see if like since we've moved away from like Eberron stuff, if it's back at me.
You actually find that Eberron isn't what was causing it. It was the double stack between two worlds piece. So yes, it's back. It is you see the 5 symbols of sort of the various elements, and in the center of them, just a smiling, kind-looking, superheroic man.
what does it say?
Well, we got symbol of the 5 elements and then kind of a happy, good-looking guy in the middle.
Oh, okay. Like we should find him? Who is it?
I don't know.
You can't show it to anyone to ask them what it looks like.
Can I sketch it out on plain paper?
Sure, yes.
Yeah.
We can assume
I have tracing paper.
moving forward, I think we can assume that if it's not in a moment of extreme stress, that this is invariably what you do, because this is what a non-insane person would do.
Yeah.
And just be like, look at blank, no! So yes, you draw it out.
She's an expert tracer.
Great.
And Annan's like, cool, yes, it's, she like hands you a clipboard. She has several. She's like, yeah, that's fine. So you go ahead on sketching. We actually have a witness who is on board, and he was particularly adamant about speaking to Butthole. But given that you are now apparently, and she just has a proper like Kif from Futurama, like or Sideshow Bob stepping on a rake, like King Quinny Farch of House Farch, Lord Master of okay.
We're both just like pinching the verge of our nose.
It's uncomfortable for everyone, but she just has to say it. You just kind of have to eat it. Says it will be your responsibility to speak to him and see what he wants.
Okay, great. I keep saying great. This is all the worst. Take me to this person.
Cool. So Annan takes you kind of back through the airship and down into the lounge, and you can see that Mo Dirt's kind of cleared out to leave room. He's kind of stirring a drink in the corner, talking to his patron, the great Cornholio. But as soon as he sees you guys enter, he just kind of like picks up the drink and the mixer and a bunch of ice and like some rinds. It's like an unnecessary amount of things, but you can tell he really wants to make a cocktail. And then he just kind of, while making eye contact with you, glowering, just like carries all of it back into his back room.
That's a shame. I could really use a drink.
And there's still a bunch of booze on the shelf. It's just whatever he was making there. Dagobah mudslide, presumably. So you walk in, and sitting kind of eagerly and patiently with a sort of a bunch of bags around him is a goblin who rises to meet you as you enter the room. And Ryan, what does your goblin say?
Misa want a bubhole.
And Annan says, so Lord Quinny may I introduce you to
Farthole Farch.
Farthole Farch.
He claims to be a cleric of Moonhammer, so you should have no difficulty dealing with this. She grabs herself a drink and just kind of absconds to the corner. Farthole, this is the, you have one additional piece of information about Phandalin that I didn't give you earlier. Yes, Farthole is sitting here with all of his bags. He seems to be someone who is picked up kind of en route and the sole witness to the destruction of Phandalin.
It's a pleasure to meet you, Farthole Farch. My name is Quinny Brownbarrow.
Ooh, Queenie.
I regret to inform you that Butthole Farch is no longer with us, and he has passed many of his duties on to me. So how can I help you?
Pass?
Yeah.
Pass up to sky?
Down into the ocean, actually.
Ooh, much God. Oh, good for bubhole.
What can I help you with, man? Come on.
I kind of put my hands up and just say, I'm Juniper. Don't be alarmed. I'm going to change. And I'm going to change into my Goblin Gartok just to see if, can I understand him better speaking Goblin?
Ryan?
Ooh, goblin.
And you realize when you look at the side of his head that there's like a dent in it. So he may not be entirely there. Looking at him, he doesn't quite check out even compared to normal goblins. He's about 3 feet tall and about 45 pounds, but he's wearing a breastplate for a full human. So he's basically like two little arms reaching out and then a head. And then just
no pants, right? Like it's just the feet coming out the bottom.
And then somehow there's a cape, and you're not sure why until he farts and you see the cape flutter behind him.
Of course.
And then he's got like a shield that's almost as big as he is that's resting next to him. And he's like, have real talk with Moonhamu. And he reaches up, and you think it's a torch on the wall, but he takes down a full-sized warhammer that's just flaming from the head of it.
Jesus.
And he like sets it down next to him. And he's like, Temple no more.
Yeah, you were there when Phandalin went up?
Me no. I was away.
Okay, so what do you know?
No, because I go away, and then I come back, and I like, ooh, no good.
So it was gone when you got back?
You didn't see it go away?
No, just meet me in woods. Come back.
What were you doing in the woods?
Well, sort of have disagreement with a Garvo.
Garvo. Have you seen Garvo since?
No, Garvo.
I know Garvo. Oh, Garvo's
Well, everybody.
gone.
Me no know.
What was your disagreement
survivors.
about?
Well, religious. So me going to woods because Garvo say Moonhammer God, and me say Moonhammer all God, real God, Bubhole,
Like Butthole Farch is a god?
second coming Moonhammer,
Second coming of Moonhammer.
all hail Bubhole. And then I do a little dance and raise the hammer. Moonhammer, Bubhole.
I like reach into like this the tenets of Moonhammer, the Moon Manments thing, and just like quickly scrolled like, is there anything talking about a second coming or any of this
Dear
shit?
God, no.
Yeah, I was like, all right, man. Thanks.
And Farthole, you met Butthole once, right?
Ooh, yeah. Meet Bubble. Meet you. And he takes out a hat out of his backpack and he puts it on. And it's just a headband with like a wire that stretches out and hangs in the air. And on the end of it is a knife that's pointed at him.
This isn't ringing any bells for me.
You pay me, watch cart.
Oh
Watch
my
cart back
God.
in day. Float knife. Knife go sleep. Me go, all hail Bubble. Run.
You know, Alan, the wizard, she's a half-elf wizard. She
Oh, much scare.
Yeah.
Acid melt.
Yeah, okay,
Friends no make it.
I remember you.
Try take captive. Turn mush.
So after that, you decided to join the religion of Moonhammer?
First rule goblin, follow scariest thing. He's scariest god. People say goblin god scary. Me no see that god melt friend.
Okay. Yikes. Wow.
Oh, city go but much tree.
Like where Phandalin was, there were trees?
Yeah, like
That doesn't make sense. Like the
So the trees are still there?
well me good count to. So they certain number people and same number tree.
number of citizens in Phandalin match the number of new trees?
Yeah, in area.
So we're saying whatever happened turned them into trees?
Garvo guess.
Do they look like tree people or just regular trees? Like
Tree people.
You said Garvo gas.
Yeah, I mean sometimes confused. Spend that much time with Gargo.
yeah, I can
Me
tell.
to turn tree people.
Okay. Now I'm looking at you, Juniper. You're the most.
Tom, did they talk, the tree people?
No, they're just like literal trees. They're vaguely
look like people?
humanoid.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You go see face in tree.
Yeah.
Me no.
Juniper, you're the woodsiest person I think is on the ship. You got anything on?
There's a lumberjack who's in the lower decks who's furious right now. You just hear it through the wind.
Can I do like an insight check to see if this sparks anything?
Sure.
8.
I mean,
Oh man.
you're familiar with the idea of dryads and sort of spirits that live inside trees, but also in terms of from a transmogrification lens, probably. But also, you can't think of a weapon that would do this. This seems very odd.
Where's Alan? I wonder if Alan knows.
That's a good point. It sounds much more magical now than it did at first. I thought it was like a bomb or something, but
Alan! Alan!
she's not in the room. She's
We should go get companion of Bubble.
yeah.
Alan. And then I start running down the hallway just yelling Alan over and
Well,
over
no,
again.
she's the other way. Come on, you got to come back this way.
Okay,
It's
turn
a-
around.
it's a left at the door.
Alan.
Modert just pokes his head out and goes, ugh. And then he just closes the door again. All right, so Farthole, you run down the you kind of like run stumble. I think running in the breastplate is like
It's not great.
bad at the best of times.
Goodness.
So you kind of run stumble down the hall and you enter kind of Leanne's workshop Annan's workshop with like Leanne's kind of there. You can actually see everything's packed up. Like it's clear that everyone kind of got the memo that we're moving on out. So everything's kind of packed. There's a bunch of trunks. Alan, you are sitting on sort of a series of boxes looking longingly at where your bookshelves used to be. And most notably, there is a sort of like a wooden milk crate. There's like 4 wooden milk crates that have been stacked. And in them are kind of slightly singed, a couple of like waterlogged books that have clearly been like saved from the wreckage. And there's a small hand painted sign that just says Alan's Library. And you can tell that Bucky tried to set up what was left of your library just in case you ever came back. Goblin Jr.'s there with you.
Oh, this is kind of endearing. Can I well, yeah, like what books have I got still?
You've got like, there are unfortunately a lot of the kind of innocuous ones, like A History of Faerun. You do actually have one of the books you brought with you from the Temple of Ogma. So there is kind of something nice about having that, but there's no practical knowledge in it. There's one on herbology, and we'll say the book on golems made it through as well, on flesh golems.
Okay. I just kind of looked to Goblin Jr.
Going to tag back in as Goblin Jr.
I was going to say, yeah,
Oh,
that's,
sorry.
No, that's me giving it to Tom. It's just so I'm not playing them both.
I don't think there's anything I can do here. Like, everything's just gone. And I want to pull out the glass and say, honor system?
There's no response.
Hello?
No response.
Anyone?
Nothing.
What am I looking at?
You're looking at a cool monocle with a crack through it.
I kind of twist some things around.
You get like a hint of an image at one point, but you're encountering the same problem Butthole encountered, which is if the signal is open from the other end, it can receive, but it has difficulty sending out a signal and connecting. You might be able to get it repaired somewhere, but it would take a very specific kind of person.
Well, I have to find some way to get back.
And then suddenly you hear,
Alan! And the door bursts open, and just a tiny goblin wearing a giant breastplate with a backpack and what looks like a warhammer that's also a torch and a shield he can barely carry, runs in and just like sets his stuff down and climbs up on one of the chests next to you. And he's like, you know Bumhole!
I knew Bumhole. I knew Butthole? You mean Butthole?
Yeah, Bumhole!
Yeah, I knew him.
Ooh, help with tree people.
Sorry, who are you?
Me's a farthole fart, cleric of Bumhole.
Quinny arrives shortly
Okay.
thereafter.
Yeah, I'm walking.
Yeah.
I just like Alan just kind of like looks at Quinny and just like points to fart hole.
Yeah, new Moonhammer convert here.
No, Bumhole.
Yeah, I'll get to it, man. I'm doing your whole recap for you.
Okay.
And I like sit down with my warhammer and I'm just excited.
He was actually one of the first goblins that we ran into when we first kind of got together and did the Fandolin job.
I point to my floating knife hat.
Oh my goodness.
You cast Unseen Servant,
I
right?
did.
Yeah. He perceived that as great power coming from Butthole.
Well, because
and well, you and me, and well, mostly you and Butthole.
me follow along. No, all adventure.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
We
we
got
go-
another guy like that. Oh shit! I just that just made me think about Bucky.
Oh, Bucky, yeah. You send him hell. You sell
didn't
soul.
send him to hell.
You sell soul.
I didn't send him to hell.
Me talk Mo. Your fault. You send hell.
Who the hell is Mo?
Mo dirt.
Who's been talking to Mo?
Me.
Why?
Because me on ship.
I'm gonna kick this guy off
You
the ship
away.
so fucking fast. He,
You don't like Bucky. He go hell. You powerful.
Oh my god, dude! I will kill you. I'm a
Wait,
king, and no
no.
one will stop me.
Power bubble will stop you.
Can you guys just like what's going on? What do you need?
Fuck it, I tried. You tell her in your fun little whimsical way.
Fambolin go. Pff, all trees.
What?
Fambolin go. Pff,
It exploded?
all trees.
It
Trees.
exploded.
Tree people.
It sounds like it didn't blow up. It sounds like everyone in Fandolin was turned into a tree, and we were wondering if you knew anything about magic that could do that.
I mean, sure. Sure. I mean, magic could turn people into other things.
You know any wizards or sorcerers or whatever that are known for that kind of thing?
Can I do a check? See.
Sure, yeah.
That'd be an Arcana check or more like a history check.
Arcana, or actually either or, but both will get you a different result. So if it's Arcana, it's do you know if there's magic that could do this?
Yeah.
If it's history, it's do you know anyone who could do this?
I'm gonna do an Arcana check on this. Nat 1.
People into trees. Old wives' tale. No, this doesn't sound like anything you've ever heard of. You know about transmogrification, but
Yeah.
that isn't this.
Huh.
Like it could be, but this doesn't sound right. Nothing that wipes out a city and does this exists as far as you know.
So what happened to the city?
So collectively, I'll save you the...
Great.
Yeah.
No, I want more fart hole. I love that.
Yeah, well, you're going to have
voice.
a rest
We're
of
gonna
a
have it.
series of it, so calm your roll. You see
favorite.
this character sheet? He's not doing a bit. So for between what...
Well, assume this takes an hour, but this is how much information you get out of it.
between Annan and Farthole, what you get is a weapon seemed to have been detonated near the center of town that caused a massive crater to open up in the center of town. The entire the entire town has been destroyed. Every building has been leveled. There's a blast radius beyond this central crater. In the center of town, there's literally just like a massive crater, as though an orb of some sort of power went off in it. Beyond the blast radius, the buildings are gone, and there are a number of townspeople who seem to be... It looks as though they're all kind of recoiling in horror, or kind of, it's the classic, like, hands up. Think like anyone in Pompeii that they found. But they've become these kind of gnarled trees that still have their faces and still... But not clear.
Carbonite trees.
Yeah, but kind of like they're living trees. Like, they're just classic wood. That said, from all accounts, it's not like, oh, this is a person who's like, oh, I'm in a tree. It's just they've been completely transformed into trees.
How long ago did this happen?
It took Farthole probably a week and a bit to find you. So about a week ago.
Does that line up with any like major disturbance that I recall?
No, actually. Wait, that Alan recalls?
Either Alan or Juniper, like on either
so
side.
Alan in 2099, no.
Okay.
In Juniper here, no. It doesn't sync up with any of the major events that you guys have been involved with.
Juniper just says,
I mean, this feels awful collidey.
I agree. Okay.
It could be something else, but I mean, the timing, I don't know.
We thinking maybe a god or a demon or something? Or Calliope, it doesn't make sense, though, just the more I think about it, just because it's been buildings and stuff coming together, not buildings disappearing and nature taking its place. Yes.
Farthole points at the library books that are set on the shelf, and he's like, ooh, you check a spooky book from Moreau.
what?
Bubhole, take a book from Necromancer. Read, get strong. You check Necromancer book, those Necromancer book?
I take out the book and where?
No, wrong book. Wrong book.
Okay.
Who have Necromancer book? Who have Relic of Bubhole?
Hang on, and I'll go into the bag of holding and see if I've got it. I don't actually know if I do.
You do. You have a collection of all of Moreau's books that got picked
I
up.
thought it was just his tools.
Nope, books too.
Got it.
Bags of holding are magical things.
Yeah. I pull one out and I'm like, you talking about this?
Yeah, good book. Give out.
So I will say, based on what you know about Moreau's experiments and also kind of what Annan was referring to, this is seems to be a separate issue. You can quickly flip through it, but it's all about using, like, reshaping bone to creatures and that sort of thing. Transmogrifying living organic tissue to vegetation isn't in here, but you do think it might actually be useful based on the mission Annan is currently describing. She's like standing by on that. She figured you'd want to deal with Farthole first.
All right, we got to check this out, right?
Yeah, we only get the airship for one trip, though, so we got to choose where we
Annan
go.
kind of clears her throat. She's like, yeah, about that. So here's the problem with the new bodies. The body man I found, as it were.
This is the druid?
Yes, yeah. So he was hired by an orc warlord to populate his dungeon. This is apparently a thing that is very popular amongst the warlords to bring someone in to help create the monsters that will populate a space. Unfortunately, the warlord has been rather aggressive towards anyone trying to offer any amount of armistice or ally. He's killed several envoys from Waterdeep, and a Ka is moving against him. So essentially, I found you the perfect person to build Yevgenovich a body, and I guess apparently Butthole a body. But if we can't get him out of this warlord's castle in the next couple of days, he will likely be lost to us, because odds are a Ka with their laser weapons will just roll over this castle.
Oh, I don't think a Ka's laser weapons are going to be a deal anymore.
Oh, okay, so then we just have to contend with their war priests. Great.
Oh, is that sarcasm or not? Because I thought the laser weapon thing was pretty good news.
Oh, it is. They just also spent years training in the arts of the god of war. So, I mean, yay, no lasers. Boo, two very good warriors. Nevertheless, they're going to roll over this castle in a matter of days. So if you want any chance of bringing Butthole back and my assistance in any future matters, we need to get him out now.
Just a second, let me check with Bobhole.
And Farthole takes a knee.
God damn it, no.
Oh, Bobhole say we have to go. Very important.
Oh, does he?
Join team. Very much.
I'm gonna pray to Bubhole too. Just give me a second. Oh yes. Oh, you know what he said? We maybe need to get quorum first before we do anything.
Bobhole's so wise. Quinny very wise. Yes.
And I'll say, look, Farthole, it's been great meeting you. We got to talk about kind of where we're going from here. You go on and do whatever it is you got to do. Thanks so much for letting us know about Fandolin. It's been nice meeting you.
Now we all go quest together. I have to do this for Bobhole. You don't have Bobhole, you all die. You.
Oh,
But
no.
with me, back to life.
I understand, and I really appreciate your enthusiasm, but this is kind of like a personal thing. We were very close with Butthole, and quite frankly, you met him once. And
Quinny,
what?
I just kind of like pull on your shirt.
Yeah, I'm here.
Like,
Stop that.
you
Get
know-
out of here.
You know, we don't have a cleric anymore.
Are you a
there's-
cleric?
Oh, cleric of Bobhole, great and powerful. And then I just go,
Bo, and all the fire bursts up for a second, then goes away because I have thaumaturgy.
Butthole saved us from so many tight spots. I think we'd all be dead without him.
I can be your Bobhole.
I don't like him.
Magic will come from your new Bobhole.
I don't like him. Sorry, who's this again?
Gartok.
Gartok. Sorry, a lot of names.
That's okay.
I don't like him, Gartok. I don't like him at all.
I don't know that it matters whether or not you like him. We might need him.
I think it matters a little bit.
So Farthole goes over to Alan and he's like,
You look sad. Take symbol of Bobhole.
and he takes out what looks kind of like a beautifully crafted, like glazed symbol of Moonhammer that he holds up to Alan.
I take it.
Yeah, that for you from Bobhole. Made the finest Bobhole ingredient.
I think you're holding shit. I think he gave you shit.
What's it made of?
Burnt poo.
Bird poo or burnt poo?
Burnt.
Why would that matter?
I glaze.
Why would it matter what kind of shit you're holding
I
right now?
glazed poo.
Is it your poo?
Of course. Only sacred have come from cleric.
I hate this so much.
What does it do?
Protect you.
It makes you sick.
No, much glaze. Not like regular poo. It's sacred.
No,
Does
I
it
can
have a
tell it's
smell?
not like regular poo, Farthole.
Does it have a smell?
No, it's literally like it's been in a kiln, like it's glazed on the outside.
Yeah.
Here, chain, wear around neck. Protect.
I do an Arcana check on this.
All right, if I can roll a d20.
Oh, I'm rolling horribly today. 7 or 9. 9.
I mean, it seems about as holy as anything Butthole has said is holy, so I don't know, maybe?
Fuck, why not? And I put it around my neck.
What is happening to this group?
You want one, King?
No.
I don't know. If it doesn't
Emphatically
do
no.
anything,
Okay.
cares?
All right.
Just trying to move this along.
Yes. We need to figure out where we're going. We get one shot with this airship. Goblin Jr. Made a potentially good point that if we go to where Bryn was last dropped off, she might still be there. And if she's captain of the ship again, then she will likely let us stay on it. We can go wherever we want on our airship.
Okay, and where's that?
I don't know. I haven't talked to the ship's captain yet.
So you can easily get that information. They dropped her off in Waterdeep some time ago, but that was a while back.
And Waterdeep is a huge city.
It's a huge. It's not like they left her at like path to Bryn, and she's like, all right,
Yeah.
goodbye. Or it's not like a Luke Skywalker like planet in the middle of nowhere. They left her in a major city, and she was like, come back for me at this time. They did. She didn't get on. They haven't heard from her since.
I understand how infeasible it is. I'm taking advice from a dog. I'm just not in a good place.
Yeah, you need more religious guidance. Get through it. Bring back Bobhole.
That I think is a pretty strong priority. But Alan, I haven't really checked in with you. We will decide where to go tomorrow. Alan, do you want to get a drink and chat?
All right, we're waiting until tomorrow. Okay, yeah, sure.
Okay. And I just want to like spend the night like catching up with Alan.
Sure, yeah.
Talking about Butthole together. And also just getting a sense of like where you're at, Alan. Like what are your like motivations and what's driving you right now? I'm really worried about you because I saw the way you were acting this morning and in the hall.
Gartok is hanging out with Farthole for sure.
Okay.
Just another opportunity to add
goblins.
to the goblin knowledge. Yeah. Honestly, Quinny, like, I don't even know why I came back.
I mean, we missed you. I'm so glad you're back.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I missed you guys too, but like what was the point?
We're friends. I don't know.
Yeah, but like
All the mages that you left behind?
yeah, I mean like look at the worlds. And like that other world I came from, no magic.
Well, I mean, yeah, you would have been a powerful leader, probably.
I don't know, maybe I could have brought magic back.
Maybe.
I don't need to lead people, but just like fuck, like what's the point of me now?
I mean, there's a lot going on here that we could use your help with. This news from Phandalin is the top, the most recent thing. It's weird. People turning into trees. That's not normal. That's magic, and that's what you're about, and I need your help with that. I need your help figuring out what to do with this whole King of Akka thing.
I don't know. Juniper seems like she can help with that more.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. I don't know. I'm just second guessing coming back here. I think I need to get back there.
Okay. I can respect that, but you're important to me, right?
Yeah,
I don't have a lot of people that I would say that to.
You two to me, for sure.
Okay. And if there's nothing else that you want to talk about, we'll probably call it a night there.
Yeah. All right.
Man, this feels so just Quinny is just like, she's either not telling me something or I am just not good with people. It's like, I'll call it a early night and
then in the middle of the night, Farthole comes knocking on Alan's door.
Alan's door, okay.
Yeah, come in.
Hi. You said me here cleric.
Sorry, what?
Why you said me here be cleric?
Oh, am I sad?
Yeah.
I climb up on the bed and sit down.
Well, Butthole died and I couldn't stop it.
Oh.
And a lot of other people need my help. Mm-hmm. And I can't be there for them right now.
No, it seemed like you here. You helping people here.
Yeah, am I?
Yeah. See, you worry about picture you see. But what about picture Bubhole see? If Bubhole know he need be here, then he sacrifice you. He live, be here, save. But you here. So Bubhole know you need to be here. Who going to stop big scary wizard? You blow up hand. Very strong. Who going to stop Plantier? Not Bubhole. Bubhole couldn't stop Plantier.
Stop. Who?
Plantier from Tornado Island.
Oh.
You had to stop.
Yeah.
He really has been following your adventures vicariously for
Me
a
go
long
places.
time.
About 2 months behind. Very slow. Try hard. Build glider. Not very good. Fart into glider. Tell me arrive. You do that. You stop Plantier. You stop other people. What if there be much wizard? Bubhole no good with wizard. Bubhole just punch wizard friend. You beat wizard. Who got power wizard? All bad. Quinny, die. Quinny die have to be brought back magic. You magic. You no die. You stupid, but you no die.
Okay.
But Bubhole save you from stupid. And Bubhole go, me God, me no be needed. God Allen, bye. He leave. You have protect Quinny. And Junie. And Mo. Maybe Captain kind mean, but maybe okay. Then protect all. Bubhole live through you. Every time you fart, Bubhole tell you do right thing.
And I kind of smiled to spite myself.
As you do so, you feel a buzzing in your pocket, and the eyeglass is active.
Oh my gosh. Who's there?
You open the eyeglass, and you actually see Bourbon Sherbert with like a wrap around his head, but he also seems to have like painted kind of like cool colors on his face. And he says, "Oh, hello, Mistress Xanthus. It is I, Bourbon Sherbert, the Wizard Robert. We thought you would want to know what has been going on in your absence. I have Declan and Honor System on the line for you."
Oh my gosh, yes, please, please.
So things have changed rather considerably in 2099. With the destruction of the stack, all the technology that was being run by quantum energy harvested from mages actively ceased to work. Now, a lot of things like the Ronin droids and the Samurai droids have quantum cores, so those are cut off from kind of the main power sources, so they were able to continue to go about their business. But it became very quickly apparent how much of Typhus and Ventus and a lot of the other large houses' tech was powered by harvested quantum energy. Planes fell from the sky. A lot of the sort of vehicles and sort of air cars dropped. There was massive casualties. The world has changed overnight. Now it's where before it was kind of a weird sci-fi utopia. Now it very much feels almost like a post-apocalyptic world. The people are fine, but the technology is not, and a lot of them don't really know how to function without mass amounts of tech. An arms race has already begun to determine what power source can get technology back online. But for the new future, this is a tremendous win. So in the day since you left, or 2 days, I guess, 2 days.
Yeah, now.
Yeah.
A few notable things have happened. Declan and Honor System went back to the stack after detonating it to try and find Grayson Typhus and finish the job. They found an absolutely mangled body amongst the remains that was his, but there were no life signs in it. And strangely, it seemed to be mostly disintegrated and destroyed by the quantum blast. And it wasn't reviving. It was just what scraps of him they found were done. There was no sign of your mother.
Okay.
The rest of the mages made it to the mainland. Interestingly, even though a lot of them are transposed from another world, in a world where technology has suddenly ceased to exist, the mage class is already rising rapidly. As opposed to the oppressed people that you thought they would be, they actually seem to almost be seizing control of large areas of the world. For Declan and Honor System, I'll let you guys kind of speak for yourselves, but I just wanted you to know kind of what's up. But this is your first chance to talk to Alan. I will say it will also likely be one of the last. This technology is rapidly fading based on the shifts that have occurred. While previously Ventus was using mage energy to harness the rifts, these rifts will likely be inactive. That's not to say there aren't other rifts in the world, but that you won't be able to crack portals. So you didn't get a proper chance to say goodbye, but now that things have calmed down a bit, perhaps you can.
Hello again, Alan. It is good to see you.
Hey, it's good to see you too.
Are you well?
Yeah, I'm good here. How are you guys doing?
Declan is feeling much better.
Yeah, nothing can take me out. It's not quite dead yet. I mean, people said I died, but you know what? I just took a nap again. Everybody makes a big thing. Honor Systems like, your vital signs are stopping, whatever. Oh, so we can't find Grace and Typhus. But, I mean, that sucks.
Yeah.
The mages are trying to take control, but you kind of taught us that it's quite possible to kill him if it's a problem. So I feel like we can deal with what we need to deal with. But I'd always rather deal with an army of the oppressed than an army of not, because then they'll make good choices. That's what they say. Suffering makes you a good person.
We did not find your mother among the wreckage of the stack. We have reason to believe she survived and escaped.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, we also don't... Like, this is probably going to shut down. So I don't know how long this call's going to last or if we can do this again. The portals aren't working that we can find. But if there's naturally occurring portals, who the hell knows? So they could still be coming for you on the dark side of the moon. Because, I mean, this place, it's a shithole like yours, only no one knows what's happening now. Everywhere's dumb Faerun.
Jeez, and here I was thinking I wanted to come back because I thought the mages needed help.
Oh, no, I'm pretty sure that they're going to be a major problem. But you know what? I don't think
God.
Duerden trusts mages either. So we can balance this out as necessary.
Yeah. So for the new future, your prime concern is, of course, Jeff Bezos. There's two houses left standing. So someone's got to go down.
Yep. They both will. We hate houses.
But more pressingly, you can, Alan, you can kind of hear the noises of a dock behind them. And you see a couple of like House Duerden folks rock by. You see one of the twists. And Declan Honor System, you're currently lying in wait for a certain shipment of changelings that was meant to come through this port. So even though we've gone from like super high tech to low tech, it's almost like an escape from New York situation now, where like there are still cars and things you can use. You just can't fly anymore. So you got business about.
Oh, yeah, we're going to catch these fucking changelings if they come through. We're going to try to set them free and figure out what the hell's going on. You got that changeling
good.
over there, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, well, we'll see if we can send word. I don't know if this will still be working, but we'll let them know there's a dumb existence in the Middle Ages where nobody knows how to, I don't know, read or write or whatever you people can't do. But we'll let them know that there's one there.
Thank you. I mean, thanks for everything, you guys.
You're welcome.
Very much so.
Thank you for helping us. We could not have done this without you.
I don't like doing the emotional thing, so let's just say I'll miss you. It was better killing people with you than it will be without you.
That's true. Me too, yeah.
I will miss you, Alan. And I hope to see you again.
Yeah, hope to see you guys too.
Oh, God, Honor System's so emotional now. It's going to
Look,
be exhausting.
Take
Listen
care of each
to him.
other, okay?
Of course.
All right.
After all, they've got me, Bourbon Sherbert, the helping both of them out, Robert.
Just, I mean, watch it. Like, calling people Xanthus and shit. Just, like, keep a close eye on him, okay?
Whatever you say, Mr. Xanthus.
See? Like,
We're still trying to get him in charge of the mage faction. It could happen. Darker things have.
I will be an archmage one day.
Is there any tips for teaching this fucker magic?
Don't teach him anything? I don't know.
I told you.
I mean, he's
I suppose now I am an archmage.
he's powerful enough.
He's figuring it out on his own. That's my biggest fear.
You're right. Bourbon laughs, and just as the signal begins to fade, he yells, "Check this. Hello!" And he throws acid out of his hand at a box behind him, and it begins to fizzle.
He needs a strong code. Strong code to live by.
Got it. Kill the rich. Okay, bye.
Oh, no.
See you in the collide.
What?
And then the signal drops out.
Well,
Meanwhile, Fartle has been sitting here the whole time. Remarkably patiently, I should add.
oh, yeah, of course.
So you feel better? Everything made sense for Bob Hole?
Actually, you helped a lot.
Me a very good cleric.
Deceptively good.
Just like a bum hole, you never know when you're gonna need one.
And he gets up and like leaves the room very happily.
All right, sounds good. So you have the night to rest. Alan, you found a little bit of peace, which is great, and I think some further purpose for this world. I think in terms of roster selection, similar to the way we dealt with Bucky and Quinny, we'll kind of determine who makes sense to go where.
Yeah, that sounds good.
I think
Who do you want to main?
I think based on the current circumstance, Juniper is still actively sorting out what the deal with Eberron is, as well as the Collide.
Yep.
This rescue mission doesn't actually have anything to do with either of those things. So my inclination would be to say that this is more of an Alan mission.
Cool.
And in the meantime, we'll let Juniper kind of continue to puzzle away on that, unless you have other thoughts on that, which I'm certainly open to.
No, that sounds right. Yeah. I think Juniper has to be focused on the Clyde. That has to be her sole focus now.
Yeah. Cool.
No distractions.
No half measures. Okay, excellent. So you wake up, and I think, again, everyone's kind of ready. Leanne is already, and Annan are working on plans for transport. It'll kind of ultimately be a bit of a caravan situation. So you've got them, you've got Dexter, you've got Trax, and just sort of it seems to be a group that's kind of with you guys that's starting to build up. You note with no shortage of fondness that Annan has packed up Bucky's room and has all of his stuff just like loaded with the rest of your stuff. It just seems like, of course, there's an extra crate. The same is true of Butthole. She's packed all of his stuff. There wasn't much because he kept most of it in his tummy bag, but I think what he did have, she's packed up, and there's just not a sense of like, oh, we'll throw it with the storage. It's like, no, it's with the active
Right, yeah. Okay.
sort of boxes of gear. With that, the ship brings you kind of within a day's travel of the Gastrock Castle, that is the home of Raxus Bonecrusher, the orc warlord, who hired the druid. The druid's name is Kron, and your mission, should you choose to accept it, is to extract Kron from the castle before the castle is overwhelmed and he is lost to you, along with any chance you might have of creating a Frankenbody for Yevgenovich and for Butthole. The captain sees you off, kind of like as you land. She walks up and I think, Quinny, to your surprise, she actually hugs you.
What is this? What are you doing?
I also find it slightly distasteful and odd. However, it seems appropriate given the affection that I feel for you and your friends. I sincerely hope that you are able to kill many enemies on your travels and come back less dead than when you left.
Oh, all right. And I'll pat her on the back and give her a hug.
That seems like an appropriate amount of affection.
Yeah, all right. Hey, give us a ride again sometime, okay? This was nice, having an airship.
She leans in and she says, absolutely, I just need some time to calm things down. We need to sort this Bryn situation, then we will figure things out.
I get it. Cool.
And she kind of does the same for Juniper. She comes over to you and she says, I greatly respect your prowess in combat. If I didn't already have 2 swords hanging off this, I would ask you for one of yours. And then she hugs you.
Oh, wow. Thank you.
Thank you for killing all those gargoyles.
Oh, my. Well, I mean.
As many as you could.
I tried.
I understand. I was laid up in bed. I couldn't kill any. She turns to you and she kind of like crouches down a little bit and she says, and I'll miss you most of all fart hole farch.
Oh, I see. So these were empty gestures.
I'm just kidding. We just met, but I wanted you to feel involved. These are important people, and I trust you to keep them safe.
Oh, thank you. And don't worry, me bless all crew holds and bedrooms before we leave, so this very safe place.
She just starts yelling, vent the air, vent the ship. As she climbs back up, the McSquiggly begins to take off, and as it does, you notice there's actually one more person kind of dragging a box that's kind of tinkling with sort of the sound of glass hitting each other towards you. And to your surprise, you see Mosifus Dirt dragging a crate. He's still wearing a very fine robe and he's in slippers. And he's like, hang on, assholes, I'm coming too. And he like hoists his crate up onto the boxes and he turns to Quinny. He's like, look, we still got some shit to sort out with the whole breaking the ritual and like almost killing us all thing. But I really liked your dumb friend. So if I can help bring him back, I want in. I talked to Cornholio and he's in too.
Oh, well, if Cornholio's in, then by golly.
Look, man, you deal with some weird fucking people, all right? Maybe don't smack down on the guy who's nice.
Yeah, okay, you're right. I'm going to internalize that. I'm going to learn something today.
Tom, are Annan and Leanna Lionshield coming with us?
Yep.
Yeah, dope.
No, it's literally like all of the people you've had major contact with on the ship have come with you.
Okay.
Particularly because like Leanna,
she signed up as quartermaster for House Farch.
yeah. Well, she also resigned as like ship's quartermaster. Also, the thing is, you've been running kind of a weird pseudo relationship with the McSquiggly, where originally it was like, Bryn's like, okay, Alan can operate secretly from here and she'll be like our Black Ops unit that goes and kills things. And then I was like, okay, Alan's gone. Oh, now her friends just live here. Oh, and now Bryn's gone and her friends still live here. Oh, and we got attacked and everyone almost died, probably because of them. Also, we're doing errands. So it's just been like a sliding scale, but it also means you've just been sort of like slowly adding more and more people to the airship, and they're your people. They're not Thieves Guild people. They're not members of the Wanderers necessarily. So, yep, they're with you. So basically from the ship, yeah, it's Leanne, Annan, obviously, and Mo Dirt has come along for the ride as well. Plus, you've got your new friends Trax and Dex, who are kind of coming along and will sort of operate as security and scouts for the team, since you don't really have any rangers in the party. And the 4 of you.
Don't worry, she vent ship, but me keep Captain safe. Me poop under her bed, smell like fart long time.
That's tremendous. All right, everyone, let's head out.
And with that, the newly appointed king of House Farch commanded his first mission, and the Dum-Dums set off on a new adventure.
This episode of Dum-Dums and Dragons features the voices of Ryan LaPlante at the Ryan LaPlante on Twitter, Tyler Hewitt at Tyler_Hewitt on Twitter, Laura Hamstra at EL Hamstring on Twitter, and our DM Tom McGee at McGeeTD on Twitter. This episode's sound was edited and mixed by Laura Hamstra, and Dum-Dums and Dragons artwork is by Del Borovic, who can be found at delborovic.com. Our theme songs are And Now for That Massive Coronary and Skipping Through the Orchestra Pit Part 1 by Peter Gresser, and our ad music is No Control and Chiefs by Jazzar, JAHZZAR, all available at freemusicarchive.org. When it comes to Dum-Dums and Dice, you can visit our website at dumdumdice.com. Our Twitter and Instagram are at dumdumdice, and on Facebook at facebook.com/dumdumdice. But most importantly, we've got merchandise at redbubble.com/people/dumdumdice, or you can join our Patreon at patreon.com/dumdumdice. That's DUMBDUMBDICE. And tune in next week for more Dum-Dums and Dragons. Dum-Dums and Dice has to give a special thank you to the supreme beings of our Patreon at this time. Christian Menicola, Long, The Half-Blind Prophet, James Cuellar, DM Rob, Christopher Little, Joshua White, Olin Anderson, Sue One, Devin Boyce, and Jill and Noel LaPlante. If you want your name to be added to this list, you can join our Patreon too at patreon.com/dumdumdice. Thanks to them, and a little bit of thanks to you.